Hello everyone, I'm sad because I ran out of Chihaya Furu episodes to watch, and I forgot to unplug my fan, hold on. And so in the meantime I decided to play some more Imperishable Night. I already did a Let's Play of this, but this time I'm going to do something a little different. Last time I played on normal. This time I'm going to play on Lunatic, but I'm not just going to play through the game. But I can beat the game on Lunatic, but I think it would probably take me a while to get a decent run on a live recording. And by decent I mean one where I actually even win. So I'm going to play through it on spell practice and actually try to play through the stages decently and show them off a little better. And that'll help me because I can just record it one stage at a time and not have to do everything all in one go. But first I would like to explain a few things about how the game works. The first is you'll notice that each of the teams has two characters. You have a human and a yokai, and that's pretty important. The human is your unfocused shot, the yokai is your focus shot, and you can play as individual characters, but I wouldn't recommend it. For I guess reasons we'll get into in a little bit. So this is by far the best team. I would recommend, very strongly recommend them. It's the only one I can really play this game with. I know some people prefer others, but I think this is by far the best shot type. So they're the best team. So anyway, you'll notice the focused human, or unfocused human, focused yokai there. And you'll notice this little gauge down in the the lower left corner, that it goes toward the human side when you use your human character, and it goes toward the yokai side when you use your yokai character. And it also does things like goes toward whichever side you're on when you collect time orbs. And I'm not really paying any attention because I'm just trying to explain how the game works. And I'm doing it on extra for some stupid reason. But anyway, so when you are more than 80% toward the human side, which is a negative 80%, when you hit enemies, you see those pink things, you get time points, which are important for score, but they're also important for a couple of other things, which I'll talk about in a minute. And when you are over 80% toward the yokai, you collect time orbs for grazing, but only during boss attacks. So if I go to, there should be a boss coming up soon and I can show that. So see, if I go up and graze this, I don't get any time orbs. But here's a boss, and I will graze, and you'll see some time orbs kick up around the character sprite. So anyway, the time is for, yeah, there you see it. I'm not doing this right. But the time is for score, but it's also for each stage has a goal, which you'll see on this. It's only 10 for weird reasons. But on most stages there's a goal for your time orbs, and if you get enough you get to face a bonus spell, which is pretty cool, and you can't lose lives or anything during the bonus spell, so don't worry about that. You just get another shot at an extra spell card captured, and you get more points and stuff. The other thing is, if you care about continues at all, you get more continues basically if you meet the time orb goals. It's not that important if you're going for a 1cc, but if you're not, then that does really help. And there's also score reasons to get those too. But anyway, yeah, so that basically explains that. Now, I'm gonna go ahead and exit extra because, yeah. Now, this game, whether you focus or unfocus, is a lot more important than most of the other games, and that's why it's not really, I don't really recommend playing as solo characters. And it has to do with a unique gimmick that this game has called familiars. And let me show you what I mean with that. And I will use the Magic team, Marissa and Alice, to show this, just for this one particular thing, because it really illustrates that. So I'm going to go to a spell that has a lot of familiars, which are these basically just white, fluffy, circle-looking things. And they are basically, an enemy will spawn them, and then the familiars will shoot bullets, and you can shoot down the familiars and they'll stop shooting at you. And when you hit the familiars, whatever enemy spawned them takes some of the damage. Not all of it, but some. And let me show you why you might want to shoot familiars. And your yokai character cannot hit familiars, but also the familiars themselves don't hit the character. It's like, this doesn't hurt me. But see, now if I use Alice, Alice does not do anything to those familiars, and just shoot straight through them, which is great because you can shoot through them and hit the boss directly, which does more damage. But so sometimes you want to do that. You want to use your yokai to shoot through familiars. Now if you use your human character, their shots hit the familiars, and let me show you how different this is using Marissa instead of Alice. And this is kind of an exaggerated example, but notice that every time I shoot down one of these, or a group of these familiars, it means less and less bullets are spawning. And this spell in particular just gets ridiculously easy the further you get in it, as long as you're using your human character. And I'm using Marissa now, because Marissa is ridiculously good at taking those things out. But so now, what was a pretty dense and tricky spell with Alice has become trivially easy because we shot down all the familiars. Now, this obviously sometimes you want to use a human to take care of familiars, but not always, and I'll show you an example of when you wouldn't want to do that. And so that's one way that having a plan to deal with familiars can make your life a lot easier by clearing away, or by stopping bullets from spawning, because you're shooting down things that would spawn bullets. But there's another, and probably even more important, way that you can use familiars to clear away bullets, and that's that when you shoot down the enemy that spawned the familiars, its familiars disappear, and they take all the bullets in their near vicinity with them. So, let me show you what I mean by that. Come on now, don't... The game is lagging pretty badly here. Let's see if... Alright, this should be fine. So, let's go to the beginning of stage 3. You can really see this, and I will use my human character at first. And it starts off with the wave of these 3 things that shoot familiars out. And see how this is kind of a dense thing? I mean, you can still deal with it. But now let me show you a trick, because if you take advantage of the fact that these things spawn familiars and use your yokai to shoot through the familiars, then you see when you shoot down the enemy, the familiars open up a path. So that's something you're going to want to take advantage of. And that's why it's really, I think, really important to use a team unless you're really good at this game and really used to it. Because there are times you want your human to shoot down familiars, and there are times that you want your yokai to shoot through familiars. And if you play as a solo character, you can't do both. You can only do one or the other. And it helps It's fine in some parts of the game, but there will be parts of the game where you will really miss whichever one you don't have. Let's see. Okay, yes, one other thing that I wanted to talk about really quickly before going on to stage 1, let's see, is the death bombing system, which in this game is a bit different. Now, notice I have Yukar, which is this is what her bomb looks like, so yeah. Now notice I have 2 bombs left, and I'm using Yukari now. Oops, I messed it up. Well, anyway, let me try this again. I'm trying to get hit, and I'm not doing it. Okay, now let's try this again. Now I have 3 bombs, and I can't get hit because I still had immunity. So anyway, 2 bombs. Oh my goodness, this is the first time I've ever train wrecked by being unable to get hit. Okay, let's try this again. So, now I'm using Yukari here. Now I'm going to try and get hit, and watch what happens when I bomb after getting hit. Now you see it switched to Reimu, and all of a sudden I went from 3 bombs to 1. Because what happens is the game will give you actually a pretty big window of time to death bomb, much bigger than any of the other games. But the downside is that it uses 2 bombs, and it is more powerful than your typical bombs. And the other weird thing is, when you death bomb like that, it switches characters. So if you're using Yukari and you get hit, then Reimu will come in and death bomb with a more powerful death bomb. And if you're using Reimu and she gets hit, then Yukari will come in and use her death bomb. And it's actually called the last spell system. And it is actually possible to just do a normal death bomb, where you only use 1 bomb and you don't switch characters. But the window for that's pretty short, so... now, even though you get a pretty huge window to death bomb, that makes it tempting to kind of rely on it and think, oh, I can react to getting hit. The problem is you don't really want to, because it burns 2 bombs, and it really cuts down on the number of times you can bomb. So try not to rely on that if you can help it. And that's, I think, the most important things to cover. So let's go on to stage 1.